Hi, my name's Courtney, and this is my informative speech on how social media affects mental health. And this is my audience. From Instagram to TikTok to Facebook, Twitter, all of these apps that we have so readily available to us on our phones have a huge effect on the way that we perceive society and the way that we perceive the world and overall our mental health. These social media apps affect our everyday lives because they're a part of our everyday lives. Most people wake up and they scroll on TikTok before getting out of bed, or even check their messages from the night before. Either way, they use these apps every day, so obviously it's going to affect our mental health. But the effects are different for different people. Some people thrive with the usage of social media, while others develop things like anxiety and depression. Just about 7 in every 10 adult Americans use social media. That's over half of the adult population. The popularity of social media continues to grow and has had a steady growth rate since 2005. Prior to 2005, about 5% of adults used social media, but that quickly changed because by 2019, over 79% of adults were using social media. But there are always positives and negatives for everything, and that includes the effects that social media has on our mental health. An example of this being social media can cause anxiety and depression. Social media apps and websites persuade people to show their life, and not everyone lives the same life. And usually that comes with comparison or even jealousy and can cause people to have serious anxiety disorders and depression. There's been multiple studies that shows the same thing. And here is a graph that shows, this is a graph for teens between ages 12 and 17 and the diagnosis of the major depressive disorder. So this first line here is teen boys. So as you can see, prior to around 2005, it's right there at the 5 when popularity really started getting it. When social media started getting its popularity, you can see that boys begin to see a steady growth right here, and it kind of comes to a plateau in between 2019 and 2020. However, you can see the steady growth right there, and it's honestly concerning. And for teen girls, it's much higher. Back in 2005, teen girls were sitting at around a 13, and the massive growth rate that teen girls see with the diagnosis of major depression disorders is insane. And as you can see, as social media started becoming more popular around 2013, 14, and 15, that's whenever you see the steady growths and the straight lines going up. And this is like the average right here. And that's obviously still like a steady line up there. And it is a plateau right here. But once we start getting into the years where social media becomes more popular, we can see that major depression grows tremendously. However, social media can be an outlet for people struggling for mental health with ways to connect and to find support systems. Social media can be a coping mechanism for certain people. Social media is a world where you can create, share, and connect. And a recent study conducted by well-accredited sociologists showed that this could be true. Within the study, sociologists held 25 interviews and 11 focus group discussions from the ages of 15 to 24 with all different ethnicities. The use of social, as a result of these interviews, sociologists found that social media is not always a bad thing. Youth use social media for so many things, like to connect with friends, participate in global movements, relationships, coping, happiness, and so much more. So social media does have an effect on mental health. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing depends on the person, because over 79% of U.S. adults use social media, with 90% of teens using social media. And then we go back to 2005, where only 5% of people use social media. So we can see that it's had a massive growth rate, and it will continue becoming more popular. But social media has taken over our lives, and obviously this has an effect on our mental health.